every week, there is a legitimate question of whether Republicans even have the votes to pass their own rules and bills. I've never seen such dysfunction. I've never seen such incompetence. House Democrats have rescued this failing House Republican majority at nearly every turn. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Republicans own this issue. Their side owns this. They own the border. They own the fentanyl crisis. They own all of it because they repeatedly reject our attempts to work together. That's both on border security and nearly everything else that has been brought up in this Congress. And because of that, because Republicans absolutely refuse to work with House Democrats, the Democratic majority in the Senate or the Democratic-held White House, because House Republican leadership continues to bow down to the most fringe MAGA members of their ultra-slim majority, this body no longer functions under regular order. In fact, we don't function. This is not functioning. Mr. Speaker, despite the very real domestic and global challenges facing our nation, House Republicans have chosen to waste time on sham impeachments, silly censures, and extreme policies that will never, ever, ever become law. And the two bills that this rule would bring to the floor, they fall into that category. This is not serious legislating by any measure. Democrats have come to the table with real solutions on the border, real solutions on immigration, and instead what we get is garbage like this. This body no longer functions under regular order. In fact, we don't function. This is not functioning. The last bill to become law that came through the Rules Committee was 9 months ago. Let me repeat that. The last bill to become law that came through the Rules Committee was 9 months ago. House Republican leadership has lost 6 rule votes since January of 2023. Last year, House Democrats assured that the U.S. didn't default on its debt. That was a big deal, because if we didn't help, we would have defaulted on our debt. House Democrats have kept the government running, despite GOP leadership wasting time pursuing unrealistic, draconian spending cuts. It has been our votes that have kept the lights on since September. We believe in governing. We believe that shutting the government down is a bad, terrible, awful idea. And House Democrats have advocated time and time again for viable solutions that tackle the important issues the Americans most care about. But, and here's the sad thing, but Republicans would rather play partisan politics, like politicizing this horrific crime, than do anything to actually keep our country safe. There is an opportunity here. The stars are aligned. Conservative Republicans are working with moderate and progressive Democrats, are working with the President of the United States to try to come to some sort of a compromise that will make a difference. And the response by the House Republicans is forget about it. My way or the highway. No, Donald Trump says we need the issue. Don't ever come up with a solution. Don't solve problems. Let's just keep the issue. Let's keep the press releases coming. Let's continue to exploit tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Enough. Enough. Again, this is not a debate club. This is the United States House of Representatives. And all of us, Democrats and Republicans, have an obligation to do our job, to make sure we keep the government running, to make sure we are solving problems. And I plead with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, join with us. Join with the conservative Republicans in the Senate. Let's do something. And instead, we've got this. How pathetic. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back my time. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this rule, no on the previous question, and with that, I yield back my time.